Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, Initiation. Initiation starts off with Clint Howard witnessing a woman falling off or being tossed off a roof and then also on fire. It then transitions to a couple, Hank and Kim, having sex on the bed, and then they see this grisly news report. The news shows the actual crime scene and the woman who is dead. Kim and Hank are co-workers, and they're kind of like, I guess, into a new relationship or whatever, and it's kind of iffy on whether he really wants her to go meet his parents. It's just like, are you sure you want to meet my fucking crazy parents? Either way, it seems like they are transitioning from a light dating situation to a more serious thing. They work at a newspaper together, and of course her predominantly male co-workers are like this.
Pretty hot one, huh? Where you been?
Tried a new restaurant.
Yeah? What was the special? Chicken a la Kim?
Kim wants to do a story on the woman that jumped. She gets edged out of doing the story. The main boss of the newspaper, Eli, gives the story to Hank. Hank doesn't really say anything like, well, she wants the story because, boys club, I guess? She gets upset about it because they're all talking about, like, spontaneous human combustion. And she's like, this is like a woman's life you're talking about. And then Eli just kind of is like, how are the classifieds coming? Can you make us coffee? Fuck that guy. Kim talks to her coworker Janice, and I swear to fucking God, if I never hear this goddamn phrase again in my life, it'll be too soon.
Boys will be boys.
Kim says fuck the man and is gonna do that story anyways, so she leaves to go to the crime scene. She's trying to get candy out of one of those little candy dispenser machines, and honestly, when I was a kid, I couldn't wait to be a grown-up so I could put quarters into those things whenever I fucking felt like it. The perks of being an adult. She's right outside a butcher shop, and the butcher comes out and speaks to her in this kind of poetic, broken English. Like, when I heard these lines, I was like, is he speaking in poems?
Cannot help but see it. Live upstairs. Too much noise. Siren, police, reporter.
Kim goes around the corner to check out the actual chalk lining of where the woman landed, and it's kind of weird because the bottom half of the chalk lining is kind of like burnt, like as if the chalk was like affected by the fire that was already put out by that time. Kim goes into the bookstore, and oh my god, do I miss fucking bookstores. Anyways, Clint Howard follows her into the bookstore and is like creepily like stalking her through the bookstore. She's trying her best to politely ignore him without confronting him about stalking her, and wow. He ends up touching Kim, and that's when she loses it and yells at him. And this is when we're introduced to the owner of the bookstore named Fema, and she tells him to go away. She calls him Ricky, by the way. His character's name is Ricky. And for a second I was like, Ricky what? But it's not. Don't worry, it's not Ricky Caldwell. They don't say it is, at least. Fema asks, like, what Kim's looking for, and Kim says, like, a book on human combustion. And I'm really kind of bummed that I'm in the middle of moving right now and I've already packed all my boxes of books because I have a book on human combustion and I was gonna totally use it. Like, you mean this book? But, just pretend I did that. So Fema gets her a book on it and she's cashing her out. Fema also lives in the building, and Kim asks, like, can you get up to the roof from here? And Fema's like, yeah, duh. And when they're cashing out, Fema gives Kim a book, like a witchcraft book, for free, and she has to, like, push it on her hard because Kim's like, no, I can't accept that. Kim takes the book because Fema's like, I'm also inviting you to a picnic, and this is your invitation, so you have to take it. So Kim is like, sure. She also eats a date that is on, like, the cashier counter, free for whoever's coming in. The music also swells while she picks up the date and eats it, so, like, you know, they're spiking the dates now. Oh, I forgot to say, when Fema gives her the book as, like, this is your invitation to come to the picnic, she kisses Kim on the cheek. Kim asks to be brought upstairs to the roof to check out, like, the space. And when they're going up the roof, during the hallway stairs scene, there's this spooky face on the wall that's done by, like, water damage and stuff. And I thought that was really neat. But then they focused in on it, and I was like, well, I wish you didn't focus in on it, because I would rather that be, like, in the background of, like, oh, did you notice it? The door to the roof also has another face that I thought, again, would have been great if they didn't acknowledge it, but they totally acknowledge it. So, I don't know. To me, spookier if you don't say anything and just let it be. So Fema leaves her to the roof, and Kim just stands on the ledge where the woman fell off of, which is terrifying. Don't do that. Kim starts to feel ill. Ricky is also on the roof, or Clint Howard is also on the roof, and then there's a bunch of flies. Kim gets down from the ledge, and Ricky pulls, like, this thing from a fucking pipe on the roof, What? What the fuck is this? Kim is like not as phased as I would be about it, but she's like freaks out a little bit because there's ants on her hand, which is like less terrifying than this thing, ma'am. Kim goes home and there's a cockroach infestation in her apartment, which you should call the super immediately because somebody just moved in and unpacked boxes filled with roaches. Like, that's a problem. I guess she had made spaghetti because there's spaghetti and it's in the circle. I forgot to mention there was this cool circle thing on the roof, and the spaghetti is shaped like that circle thing on the roof. Spiral, circle, whatever. It also matches one of the pages of the book that FEMA gave her, and she's like looking over it. On her voicemail there was a message from Hank being like, hey, are you coming to dinner with my parents? And then the phone rings and she answers it very angrily, and he's like, are you coming to meet my parents or not? What's going on? And she's like, I'm on my way. So she goes over to Hank's parents' house and meets his parents and his younger brother, who's like a teenager, but like a young teenager. And I don't know how old he's supposed to be, like Hank is supposed to be, because Hank looks like he's like in his maybe mid-30s. And then his little brother Lonnie is like, I don't know, 13 or 14. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible that they spaced out having kids that much. They're all hanging out in the living room talking about Christmas and stuff, and then Hank says something about Kim not celebrating Christmas because she's Jewish, and holy shit, his dad's an anti-Semite. And on top of that, he's also obviously a misogynist and an uneducated ass fuck. I literally wrote down, oh boy, we're really doing this in my notes when I was watching this idiot like talk. Oh my god. So obviously Kim and Hank leave, and Hank's given that dumbass excuse, oh, they're from like another time or whatever. Fuck you, no excuses, grow up, evolve, get with it. Kim is legitimately upset by this situation, but Hank takes this moment to start, you know, trying to bang her in his parents' front yard, essentially. She goes back home and then there's faces on the blinds, same situation as before. I think I forgot to mention that like the spaghetti gets knocked to the floor from before she went to that horrible holiday event. But anyways, the spaghetti is on the floor and it's the shape of a hand now and it's moving. Disgusting. Then there's like a fucking cat-sized roach underneath her couch. She gets stomach pain and she tries to go after this insanely large roach. She ends up getting too sick before she can find it because she like chases it a little bit. I'm sorry. No thank you. I'm from Florida. Roaches get huge down there. Those motherfuckers can fly, and if I saw one the size of a cat in my apartment, I would leave immediately. I would be like, nope, not today, Satan. Ugh. Disgusting. So because Kim is sick, she vomits and then loses consciousness. 2 days later, she's still wearing the same clothes, and her friend from work, Janice, comes over and is like, hey, where have you been? And then I get to hear this fucking line again.
Boys will be boys.
I already said, like, if I never hear it again for the rest of my life, it'll be too soon, but I get to hear it twice in the same movie. Janice also reveals that Eli is, like, pissed that she didn't go into work yesterday or whatever. Kim's basically like, whatever, he can be mad. And it's like, yeah, he should be mad. So instead of going back to work, Kim goes to the picnic that FEMA invited her to, and there she meets Catherine and Jane. So they talk about the dead woman, and they talk about Lilith, you know, witchy conversational stuff. Kim is so relaxed, like just going out to this picnic with these women that she doesn't know, and I myself am awkward. And I was just watching this like, is that how like not awkward people go to events with new people? They just go there and talk and don't really worry about it? How? Kim also talks about like her job a little bit with them. Catherine and Jane go for a walk, but Kim and FEMA stay behind. They've all been drinking the same wine at this picnic, but Kim seems more out of it than everybody else does. I mean, she's like falling asleep at the picnic, and then so she's laying down basically sleeping, and FEMA kisses her like on the lips, and I was like, oh no. I'm uncomfortable. Hank shows up and he drags Kim to work, and if we're just going to assume that maybe Kim is drunk to the point where she's falling asleep, if that were the case and your boyfriend shows up and drags you to work, oh my god. nightmare. Hank covers for Kim for missing work and had even said to Eli that he wants to work with Kim on the story about the woman and he believes that she would be an asset. So like, good job, Hank. Good job for taking the information in that she told you she was upset you didn't stand up for her and basically took her story and actually turned it around and got her on the story with you. Like, good fucking job, dude. Kim, however, didn't really know how Hank knew where she was, and Hank said that Janice told him where she was. And Kim was like, how did you know where I was, Janice? And Janice said, well, you told me. So Hank and Kim go together to the crime scene and to the roof, and Hank asks for forgiveness and for like a second chance, and then they make out. And then Hank leaves and Kim stays behind because she thinks she can find extra stuff or something like this. She doesn't find anything extra and then leaves, but when she's leaving, she stops at Fima's apartment. Fima invites her in for tea. Fima brings out the tea and she adds something called elder bark to Kim's tea that just looks like fucking glitter. She doesn't really like it. She starts to feel ill. Fima is asking her questions like, do you have a boyfriend? Fima also tells Kim about her daughter, Lily, who started like hanging out with a bad crew and all this other stuff, you know, just generally going down the wrong path in life. And Fima's ex-husband, Bill, blamed Fima, but then Fima realized it was all Bill's fault. Fima then changes the subject to talk about Kim and Hank's sex life. She also makes this bad comment.
Yes, there is this parasitic quality to men.
Kim spills her tea. Fima makes her eat this date that to Kim looks like a bug, and this drugs her again. Then shit gets weird. The other women that are in this coven are there. I'm calling it a coven. I don't think they actually say it's a coven, but it's a coven. The other women, like Jane and Catherine, are there, and then there's this other woman that never gets a name, I don't think. They take Kim's clothing off and then draw with charcoal on her, like a line here and here, and then like a spiral like on the roof and in the spaghetti and in the book on her stomach. Ricky's there too, and he brings that fucking monstrosity bug in and puts it on Kim's stomach, and then they cover her with a blanket. Fucking nightmare. They begin chanting. Ricky brings over a rat and hovers it over Kim, and Fima says some words, and then they kill the rat, and the rat's blood spills onto Kim's body, and then that bug thing makes its way into Kim, like just blends in with her body. There's no like, it doesn't like tear into her and go, it just kind of goes whoop. Then Kim throws up the bug, and then they chop the bug in half and leak its like blood or entrails that just looks like clear jelly onto Kim's face. Very bizarre. Kim wakes up and she's at Fima's house, and all the other women of the coven are there too, and Kim's completely clothed, so it's like it didn't happen. All of the women that are there act like nothing happened as well, and Kim tries to leave, but Fima's like, oh no, don't leave, you're not feeling well. Fima also makes the comment that she wants her daughter back, so you know, like, Kim is in danger. I mean, we should have known that Kim is in danger on date 1. Haha, get it? Because I'm talking about the dates she ate. Kim goes back to her own apartment, and Hank is there sleeping in her bed, and she loses her mind and is like trying to take her key back from him and is just like yelling and stuff, and she runs into the bathroom and tries to take a bunch of pills, and Hank stops her, and then she starts sobbing, and he like holds her and is like, it's gonna be okay. Then she kind of like snaps out of it and is like, Hank, what are you doing here? She starts romancing Hank and admits to this fetish that she has about wanting to bang him while he's sleeping, so pretend that you're sleeping. So that also seems out of character, I think. But then Ricky's there, and he gets into the entire room without them noticing or saying anything. Like, he literally sits on the fucking bed, turns on the TV, and the TV has Silent Night, Deadly Night, Better Watch Out is playing on the TV. Eventually, Hank notices and is like, what the fuck? Who are you? And then things escalate. Hank and Ricky fight. Kim locks herself in the bathroom. Ricky gets a knife, starts to try to stab the bathroom door open, and also stabs underneath the bathroom door and stabs Kim's feet, which is like one of those things, like, I fucking hate to see any kind of like violence towards feet. I don't know, it freaks me out. Feet pain, in my opinion, is the worst fucking pain. Oh fuck, hate to see it. Ricky then ends up stabbing Hank a little bit, and then Ricky says this fucking line.
What, do you own her?
Which, like, is annoying because it's like, you're there to, like, abduct her and act like you own her? What the fuck are you talking about? Hank's literally there defending her from you, you fucking psycho. Ricky ties up Kim with medical tape, which is like the easiest tape to fucking break. But anyways, she doesn't break it and he ties her up with it. Hank stops Ricky from doing this and Kim hides underneath her bed even though they're like in the same room. Obviously, everyone saw you go underneath the bed. Ricky uses this time to stab the shit out of Hank and kill him. Janice then shows up, takes the knife away from Hank and frees Kim from her bindings. And at first I was like, hell yeah, Janice, you tell him he's a psycho. But then it quickly turns into Janice, obvious traitor, is obvious, and sends Ricky and Kim to go to FEMA's and is like, I'll stay and clean up this mess. Thanks, Janice, you're the best. So Ricky brings Kim to FEMA's and they lock Kim in the meat cooler of the butcher shop, and then the situation gets weird again, but like weird and horrible than the last one. Then they make Ricky wear this Clockwork Orange-esque mask. The women start chanting some witchy shit, and then Ricky rapes Kim. Ugh. FEMA says something about giving birth to yourself. This was not a good scene. I didn't like this scene at all. I didn't see the purpose of Ricky doing that. Like, why? Moving on from that, Kim wakes up and then we get some pretty neat body horror going on. Like her fingers, like look, they just mush together and that's freaky. Eventually the meat cooler is opened and Kim is found by the butcher from earlier and he's basically just like, you're done, you've been initiated. So she leaves the meat cooler and then goes to the bookstore and FEMA calls her Lily. FEMA also tells her that the dead woman is in fact her daughter Lily. FEMA also says that Kim is free of men now, that she gave form to the things that she feared. I also forgot to mention that Hank was totally hanging up in the meat locker during what was the initiation. Also confirmed Hank is dead now, and FEMA is like, but he had a younger brother, right? You have to bring him to us. So this coven is just the worst thing, and clearly is worse than what the men are doing to Kim in her work situation and life. These women are worse than them. Which is true, that is worse. Murdering people is worse, but I don't care for this commentary. You know, boys will be boys, but it could be worse. You could be forced into this coven that doesn't practice consent and also murders people. I mean, but that's just my interpretation of what the movie is trying to say. FEMA also tells Kim that she has to bring them the boy, or else the fire will consume Kim. Kim leaves and gets a detective to come over to her house to try to prove that Hank was murdered there. The detective can't find any signs of anybody being murdered there, not even blood. Which, if you're gonna ask somebody to clean up blood, probably asking a woman is a pretty good choice because, you know, we kind of know how to get blood out. She goes to work and asks where Hank is because she's probably convinced she's losing her mind. Eli tells her like, oh, he's off on assignment. Aren't you happy you took his story? And then Janice says this.
Now, you have to bring us the boy.
But that's the end of Kim knocking drinks out of people's hands, and I was kind of bummed at that because for a second, those two in a row seemed like that video of that guy that's at the picnic that just starts punching everyone, but it's Kim at her holiday work party slapping drinks out of everybody's hands. Great. Kim tries running away. She gets like this motel room. Ricky's following her. When she's in the motel room, she turns on the TV and it's lesbian porn that quickly switches over Max Headroom style to FEMA. She's on the TV saying, you must bring us the boy. Kim starts to spontaneously combust, jumps into the shower to try to stop herself from becoming the Human Torch. She like says like, fine, I'll bring the boy or whatever, and the fire stops. She then goes over to Hank's parents' house. Hank's parents are mad because it's like, I think it's Christmas Eve. Gus, which is the dad's name. Gus is like, oh, I'm so mad he didn't even call. He's not coming here for Christmas, yada, yada, yada. Lonnie's like trying to pick which present he's gonna open because, I don't know, maybe they're of the notion of opening one gift before Christmas on Christmas Eve. We used to do that when I was a kid. Ricky had driven Kim there. I forgot to mention that in this creepy, of course I'm gonna abduct some kid's van. Abduct. Kim goes to the door. Ricky's like, oh, help. And she's like, no, you stay back here. I'll handle it. So she goes to the door. The parents don't answer the door. Lonnie jumps up, runs to the front door, and answers it. Kim abducts Lonnie because she's like, Hank's in the car. Come to the car. So he does, and Kim gets in the driver's seat of the car, and Lonnie gets in the passenger seat. Ricky is just in the front yard of the house, which I don't understand. Why didn't he just get in the van and then they could have left? okay. Gus is like, get Lonnie, I want to get more pictures. The mother goes to the front door that is still wide open. Probably not even 5 feet away. They totally would have heard Kim being like, Hank's here, he's in the car, get in the car. But okay. So the mother goes to call for Lonnie. Ricky's at the door and goes into the house. He tapes up the mother with that medical tape and then chokes the father to death with a string of Christmas lights, which is a nice nod to the first movie. Kim starts to take off and Ricky runs out and quickly jumps into the van. Then we're on the rooftop. Lonnie's like being held down by the other women and Fema gives Kim a knife to stab Lonnie with. There are gross bugs coming out of that pipe again on the roof. Fema's like, you have to kill this boy to become like a whole woman, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Fema assists Kim with the stabbing of Lonnie, but Kim goes like this and stabs Fema instead. Kim then frees Lonnie and they're going to like run away. Fema gets up and just pulls the knife out of her stomach and is going to go kill Kim. Ricky stands in front of Fema to like save Kim, but then Fema just ends up stabbing him to death and he dies and the weird bug thingies eat him. It's really gross. Then Kim's fingies get all weird again and then they start to light on fire. So Kim takes her fingies, her weird gross fingers that are also on fire, and she just stabs Fema in the stomach, and then Fema lights on fire and like falls off the roof where her daughter did in the beginning of the movie. The other women just kind of like look at Kim and don't do anything, and Kim like hugs Lonnie and it's like, it's over now. What? It's so stupid. That ending was lame, like Silent Night, Deadly Night 3's ending was lame. What the fuck? I thought this movie was gonna be like Kim joins a coven of witches, but then she sees the error of her ways and turns back before she has to like kill someone. But instead it was, look at this evil coven of terribly horrible women and they can't change their ways, but remember how Hank changed his ways? Bad take. I think, I don't know. I didn't enjoy the message of this film. From what I think the message of the film is, if you have a different message you got from this film, please let me know. Okay, so where am I going to put Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 Initiation on the ranking list? So obviously I hated Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, Better Watch Out. So that's gonna get bumped down immediately. And this is kind of hard because they're completely different movies. Like, the first 3 are like slasher films, and then this one is like a weird paranormal-esque, not really quite paranormal, but it's got like elements of gross out horror, like the bugs, body horror with her fingers. So it's kind of a sticky situation we've got here. Like, it's harder to rank, for me personally, horror films that are not in the same genre of other horror films like against each other. That's just my own thing. I'm gonna put it in the 3rd spot. Fuck you, Silent Night, Deadly. So 4 gets the 3rd spot. And is there too much in the trailer? So we were doing this based on slasher kills. And since Initiation isn't a slasher, it's kind of weird to do it that way, but we're gonna do it that way anyways. There are 4 kills in the movie. 3 of them are in the trailer. So obviously it's a yes if 3 out of the 4 kills of the movie are in the trailer. Too much in the trailer. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know in the comments if you've seen Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 Initiation. Let me know any thoughts you have on it, if you agree with me or disagree with me. Also, if you haven't seen the movie and you're going to, even though I obviously spoiled the whole movie, let me know. Maybe you'll have a different take on it. Maybe you'll think the movie was trying to say something different than what I thought it was trying to say. Not that it was trying to say anything, but all art is interpretable. And yes, this is art. But that's gonna be it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. 2 more. There's 2 more to go. All we have is 5 and Silent Night, and we are almost done with this franchise. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! Fingies! My fingies!
Does not work. Cannot help but see it. Live upstairs. Too much noise. Siren, police, reporter. Help!